is the most wonderful time of the year. Oh my, I could sing a lot better than that. But anyway, I know when they sing this song, it's the most wonderful time of the year. They must be talking about exam time, right? Maybe not. Anyway, I want to make sure you guys know how to do each of these problems, and I'll segment this into 4 videos of about 25 of these questions each. Let's begin. So 8 increased by A. Increased tells you need to be adding, so you just write an 8 plus A. So if you see the word increased, that means you are adding. Difference, that means you're subtracting. So the difference between x, so I'll do x minus, there's my subtraction, and the product, when I see product, I know I'm multiplying 3 and y. So multiply 3 times y. So this is the difference between x and the product of 3 and y. Okay, when you're simplifying, looking at number 3, it's important to make sure you know what are like terms. 6n and 3n are like terms because they both have an n. So 6 plus 3 is 9n. Then we have these two constants. We treat this as a -4 and a -5. So you can either think of this as -4 minus 5 or -4 plus a -5. Either way, the result is a -9. Number 4, same issue. We want to look for like terms. We have 2 like terms right here, these constants. Always go with the sign that's in front of these numbers. So this minus only applies to the 12e. It's not involved with the 8 or the 3. So we say 8 plus 3 is 11. And this has no like term, so it just stays the way it is, minus 12e. Five and 6 are dealing with properties. So as you look at number 5, those are the exact same terms, both on the left and right side of the equal sign. The issue is just that they've changed where the parentheses are located. And the one that has to do with parentheses is associative. So here they associate 2m and 1 together. Here they associate 1 and 7 together. Commutative is things like 7 plus 3 equals 3 plus 7. So it just says you can put the same things in reverse order. If you're adding or multiplying, it's the same. Identity is either when you add 0 or multiply by 1, because that gives you identical results to what you started with. Inverse we'll talk about on the next one, so I won't talk about it now. Number 6, this one is an inverse because -7 is the inverse of the opposite of +7. So when you're adding, it's the fact that you can add the positive and the negative version together and you get 0. If you're multiplying, it would be that you can multiply by the inverse or the reciprocal and get 1. So both of these would apply to inverse. We've already talked about associative and commutative from number 5. Distributive, just remember that would be something like 3 times 2 plus x. Then we distribute that and we get 6 plus 3x. Okay. Number 7, we plug in 4 for A and 11 for y. So I do y for 11 for y, 4 for A, 11 for y. So I suggest you just do things in order. So do 11 minus 4 first, which is 7. 7 plus 11 is 18. Sorry about my typo on number 8. We'll just change this to a B. So C is 4 minus B is 11 minus 3. So remember, the order of operations tells us we have to do what's inside the parentheses first. So I have to do 11 minus 3 first, and that's 8. 4 minus 8 is negative 4. Okay, 9 through 11 are talking about the distributive property. Well, actually not entirely, just 9. My mistake. So we do 4 times 5, which is 20, plus 4 times 7, which is 28, and you get 48. Now, another way you could do this just as correctly, you could just follow the order of operations. You know this is in parentheses, so it has to happen first. 5 plus 7 is 12. 4 times 12 is 48. So you can see we get the same answer either way. On number 10, we have to follow the order of operations. So we do division before we do subtraction. 42 divided by 7 is 6. 6 minus 5 is 1. Okay, on 11, we're also going to follow the order of operations. We do what's in parentheses first. So 8 plus 3 is 11. 44 divided by 11 is 4. Okay, 12, we're asked to identify the points on the graph. So A has gone to the left 3, but it hasn't done any moving up or down. So we do negative 3, 0 for A. B, we've gone to the left 1, 2, and down 1, 2, 3. So B is negative 2, negative 3. Because it's from the origin, it goes left 2 and down 3. Okay, C, start at the origin, we go right 1, 2, 3. That's positive, then up 1. So 3, 1. D goes to the right 1, that's positive, and then down 1, 2, 3, 4. So for D, go right 1, positive 1, then down 4. So 12 is kind of the reverse of that. This time you're actually being asked to graph. So this means you go to the right 2 and down 5. So starting at the origin, I go right 1, 2, and down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's A right there. B says 0, so I don't go left or right at all, but I do go down 3. So the origin, I don't go left or right, I just stay where I am, and go down 1, 2, 3. That's B. C says I go to the right 3 and then up 4. So starting at the origin, I go right 1, 2, 3, go up 1, 2, 3, 4. Last one, D, says move to the left 4, then up 2. So starting at the origin, I go left 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 2. Okay, when you're determining if something is a function, when you have a graph, use the vertical line test. So you can just imagine drawing lots of vertical lines all the way through. Oh, this one fails big time because you want a vertical line to only touch the graph one point at a time. But this one, because it is a vertical line, it touches a vertical line at every single point all at once. I draw a vertical line right here, it hits every point on the graph all at once. So it fails the vertical line test and it is not a function. Whereas 14, draw a vertical line, vertical line, vertical line, vertical line. You see they only hit one point at a time. So that is a function because it only hits a vertical line 1 point at a time. Okay, number 15, we're creating a table first. And for the table, we'll just go in the order they give it to us. So our x values are 1, 2, 3, and 4. Y values are 4, 3, 5, and 1. Then for the domain, we'll just write a D and a colon. we'll just write these 4 numbers. Now, none of these repeat. These are all unique, but just keep in mind, if there's ever a time where the numbers repeat, you just ignore those repeats and only list them one time. In other words, if this was a 1, you would just write 1, 2, 3 for the domain, because we're not going to repeat the same number twice. But that wasn't an issue here because they're all unique. Same with the range. They're all unique, so we'll list them all. 4, 3, 5, 1. I don't really care about the order you put them in. 24. Each dog eats 4 pounds of dog food. So if you have 4 dogs, you have to multiply 4 dogs times 4 pounds. You need 16 pounds of dog food. You have 4 pounds times 7 dogs, 28 pounds. 9 dogs times 4 pounds, 36 pounds. And 15 times 4, 15 dogs, 4 pounds each, 60 pounds. Okay, these are inequalities. Remember, this one is less than, this one is greater than, and I think you know the equals to at this point. You better. Okay. 4 is a positive number. Negative 15 is a negative number, so that means 4 has to be greater than negative 15. I'll keep going through number 30. 26, we need to simplify this first. We get negative 12 for 6 times negative 2, and negative 27 for 3 times negative 9. Okay, now this is the bigger number. It's closer to 0 than this one. This one is farther down the negative line. It's a bigger negative number, but that means it's actually smaller because it's way farther left on the line. So this one says negative 12 is greater than negative 27. Okay. On number 27, we plug 7 in for x, and we change minus and negative to plus. So we get 7 plus 5 equals 12. So we have 12 on this side and 12 on this side. So equals is what we need in between the two. Okay, here we have the absolute value. The absolute value of any number is the positive version of it. So we get positive 12 plus positive 18, which is positive 30. Okay, on 29, we'll do keep, change. So we keep the 14, change subtraction to addition, change the 24 to a negative 24. Now the rule is when you're adding numbers that have different signs, you subtract them from each other, and you keep the sign of the bigger number. Well, 24 is bigger than 14, so keep the negative, so our answer is negative 10. Okay, on 30, we'll start by adding these two numbers together. They have the same sign. The rule is when you're adding numbers of the same sign, you add them together and keep the sign of whatever numbers, well, both numbers have, which is negative. So now I have negative 29 plus 24. So when you're adding numbers with different signs, you subtract them and keep the sign of the bigger number, which is 29. So negative 5 is our final answer. Okay, we'll pause there and I'll do another video for the next section.